That evening, witnesses say Raila complained of unusual fatigue. Doctors were called to his Karen home, and they advised him to stay away from meetings and crowded spaces. From that moment, September 22nd, Raila vanished from the public eye. For nearly 2 weeks, there was no sight, no statement, no photograph. Then came the whispers again. Sources confirm that on September 25th, Raila travelled quietly to Malindi to meet his doctors. His condition had worsened: breathing difficulties, chest tightness, persistent exhaustion. He was meant to attend the Nyanza ODM celebrations on September 26th in Kisii, but he didn't make it. In Malindi, his doctors told him the truth. You need specialized treatment abroad, preferably in India or China. Immediately, his elder brother, Dr. Oburu Odinga, and a few close allies began planning his evacuation. At first, China was an option. Kisii Governor Simba Arati's wife, Meifang Xia, also known as Kwamboka, was contacted to help coordinate the logistics: hospital, accommodation, medical team. But upon further assessment, they agreed that India would be the safest choice. India's cardiologists were renowned, and Raila's problem was cardiac. On the evening of October the 2nd, Raila returned from Malindi and went to his Upper Hill office. That same evening, President William Ruto called him, requesting a meeting. Ruto then offered to visit him instead. And that night, the president drove to Raila's Karen residence, where the two shared dinner, perhaps their last meeting. It was during that dinner that Ruto was informed of Raila's plan to travel to India for treatment. Two men who had been fierce rivals for decades now sat at one table, one facing his political peak, the other staring quietly at mortality. Before he could leave the country, there was one last political move. Raila was supposed to preside over ODM's 20th anniversary celebrations in Mombasa from October 10th to 12th. But on October 3rd, he chaired a meeting at Serena Hotel announcing a postponement, citing the need for inclusivity and engagement with more counties. To the public, it sounded strategic. But behind the curtains, it was a cover-up. A move to conceal his deteriorating condition as arrangements for his treatment in India were being finalized. Because in politics, perception is everything. And sickness, my friends, is the last weakness a leader ever wants his enemies to see. It was a calm afternoon, on the same day, 3rd of October. At his Karen residence, Raila Odinga hosted the Gor Mahia executives, led by Chairman Ambrose Rakier, a club he deeply loved, a symbol of passion and loyalty. The meeting went on as usual, laughter in between, the warmth of old friends. But behind that smile, something quiet was happening inside the man they called Baba. Moments after the Gor Mahia delegation left, around 7 p.m, Raila began feeling dizzy. Then suddenly his body stiffened, his chest tightened. He was experiencing cardiac arrest. Family doctors were rushed in. They worked on him urgently, and by God's mercy he came back. But this time, the comeback was different. He looked drained, his legs too weak to hold him up. His body was sending a message that everyone feared to read. That same night, Raila Odinga, accompanied by Winnie Odinga and his longtime aide Maurice Ogeta, quietly boarded a flight out of Kenya. Their destination, southern India. It was the morning of October 4th when the plane touched down. From October 4th to October 9th, doctors worked day and night. Then, a miracle. The series of cardiac arrests stopped. His pulse stabilized. By October 10th, doctors said he was recovering well. Winnie, his daughter, said her father was even laughing again, telling light stories, eating small meals, asking about home. It was the moment of relief the family had prayed for. On October 14th, the doctors discharged him, declaring him fully recovered. That evening, President William Ruto called to check on him. He spoke through Winnie, who assured the president that Dad is okay. We're planning his return to Kenya soon. But that same night, Raila did something unusual. He wrote his will. In that document, he made a strange request that he be buried within 72 hours of his death. Winnie found it unsettling. How can Dad write a will for his burial when he's just been declared well? She wondered. But fate, it seems, was already writing its own script. The next morning, October 15th, 2025. Winnie was busy organizing her father's travel flight back home. Raila, now dressed casually, requested his bodyguard Maurice Ogeta to accompany him for a short walk. At first, everything seemed fine. He walked with his usual calm, but as they went further, Maurice noticed his pace begin to slow. Step by step, Raila grew weaker. At about 500 meters, he suddenly stopped. His eyes dimmed, and before his body could hit the ground, Maurice caught him from behind. The ambulance, which had been following closely as a precaution, rushed forward instantly. They placed him inside and sped back to the hospital. Doctors knew the routine. They had seen this before. They assumed it was another mild cardiac arrest. They performed CPR. Nothing. They used electric defibrillation. The shock meant to restart the heart. Still, nothing. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. But the man who had survived torture chambers, detention, and political betrayal this time did not come back. Raila Amolo Odinga was gone. From October 10th, when doctors said he had fully recovered, to October 15th, when he breathed his last, those 5 days were his borrowed time. And that, my friends, is how death plays its final trick. It allows the dying to look alive, to smile again, to laugh, to make peace, before it quietly takes them away. For the king, those 5 days were a gift, a window to say goodbye without saying it aloud. Now to those alleging that Raila was poisoned, to those claiming he was a to those suggesting he died long before October 15th, I ask you, have you seen anything in this timeline that points to foul play? Every date, every event, every witness aligns. This was not the story of murder. This was the story of a man whose body had simply reached its final chapter. At Lifelines TV, we have laid the truth bare. You have seen the evidence. You have heard the trail. Be the judge. The king is gone. But his crown, the spirit of resilience, the voice of courage, the dream of a better Kenya lives on. The king is dead. Long live the crown.
The king is dead, but long live the crown.